Buried alive in the woods, her ordeal began.
In the quiet suburbs of Huddersfield, England, a young mother dreamed of a fresh start. But on a fateful spring day in 2011, her world plunged into unimaginable darkness. Trapped, suffocating, fighting for every breath. This is the harrowing true story of Michelina Lewandowska, a survivor buried alive by the man she loved. Michelina Lewandowska was just 27 years old, a Polish immigrant who had come to the UK seeking a better life for herself and her 3-year-old son, Alex. With her bright smile and determined spirit, she worked tirelessly as a cleaner, pouring her heart into raising her boy. She had met Marcin Kasperzak, a fellow Polish expatriate, and believed she had found love. They were engaged, sharing a small flat in Huddersfield, West Yorkshire. To the outside world, they seemed like an ordinary couple, building a future together. But beneath the surface, cracks were forming. Marcin's jealousy simmered like a storm cloud, his control over Michelina growing tighter with every passing day.
Who have you been texting?
It's nothing, I swear!
By early 2011, the relationship had soured into something toxic. Marcin, a 31-year-old IT technician, became obsessed with Michelina's every move. He accused her of infidelity, monitored her calls, and isolated her from friends. Michelina, fearing for her son's safety, stayed silent, hoping things would improve. But on May 7, 2011, a day that should have been ordinary, everything shattered. That morning, Michelina left Alex with a babysitter and headed to work. Unbeknownst to her, Marcin had been plotting. Fueled by rage and paranoia, he lured her back home under false pretenses. What followed was a nightmare of betrayal. Inside their flat, Marcin ambushed her. He struck without warning, a brutal taser blast to her neck, sending volts of agony coursing through her body. Michelina collapsed, convulsing in pain, her muscles seizing as if on fire. But Marcin wasn't done. He bound her wrists and ankles with cable ties, his face twisted in cold fury. Desperate and terrified, Michelina begged for mercy, her voice breaking, "Why? Why are you doing this?" But he silenced her with more blows, then dragged her limp form into the garden. There, in a shallow grave of his own making, he forced her into a large cardboard box, the kind used for moving furniture. He taped it shut, layer upon suffocating layer, sealing her fate. Marcin carried the box deep into the nearby woods of Dalton, a secluded spot where no one would hear her cries. With calculated cruelty, he dug a shallow pit, lowered the box in, and covered it with dirt, leaves, and branches, like discarding trash. To him, it was over. Michelina was gone. But inside that coffin of cardboard, hell was just beginning. The air grew thick, stale, each breath a labored gasp against the crushing weight above. Darkness enveloped her completely, no light, no hope. She could hear the earth shifting, feel the soil pressing down, whispering of a slow, agonizing death. Buried alive. Alone. Panic surged through Michelina like a wildfire. Her body, still weak from the taser, screamed in protest, but survival instinct kicked in. With nothing but her bare hands and unyielding will, she began to fight. Fingernails tore at the tape, drawing blood, but it held fast. Then, in a stroke of desperate genius, she remembered her engagement ring, the symbol of their broken love. Using its sharp edge, she sawed frantically, millimeter by millimeter, until the tape gave way. Gasping for air, she pushed against the lid, earth cascading down like a landslide. Branches snapped as she clawed her way out, emerging covered in mud, bloodied and broken, but alive. She stumbled through the woods, sobbing, until she reached a road and flagged down a passerby. "Help me, he buried me alive." Michelina's escape led to Marcin's swift arrest. He confessed, but showed no remorse. In a trial that shocked the nation, Leeds Crown Court heard the full horror. The taser, the binding, the burial.
The court finds this a long and slow death attempt.
The judge called it a long and slow death attempt, born of jealousy and control. In January 2012, Marcin Kasperzak was convicted of attempted murder and sentenced to 20 years in prison. His accomplice, Patrick Nitsch, an 18-year-old friend who helped bury the box, received a lesser sentence for false imprisonment. Michelina, scarred but unbreakable, rebuilt her life. She gained custody of Alex and became an advocate for domestic abuse survivors, her story a beacon of resilience. Today, she reminds us, in the darkest depths, the human spirit can claw its way to light. The ordeal of Michelina Lewandowska teaches us that survival isn't just about escaping the grave, it's about rising from it.